844-374-5433. 844-374-5433. Call that number now and talk to me about what you can do to get your health back with real medicine developed and delivered by real doctors who deserve to be called physicians, because there are only a handful of us in the world who are actually taking upon themselves the task of helping to eliminate human suffering. It is the physician's sacred duty to restore the patient to health. Now, if you are a physician and you have no active understanding of what health is, how do you think your therapeutics are going to do? Not very well. And this is the situation that we find ourselves in here in the beginning of the 21st century. This is the situation that we find ourselves in the beginning of the 21st century. The people who own the show of medicine, the people who hold the monopoly on the practice of medicine, the people who have shoved everybody else out of the field, out of the practice of medicine, the MDs, backed by the pharmaceutical industry, the hospital industry, the insurance industry, do not know the first thing about healing. And all of their therapeutics are based upon a methodology and an understanding of the human body which is inconsistent with reality. Your medical doctor is like a colorblind artist who doesn't know that they're colorblind, and their paintings always are bad. I mean, that looks like my house. That looks like my car. That looks like my son, but the colors are wrong. Always. And this is what we've gotten used to. And the only reason that these people still have jobs, the only reason that these people still are able to be employed, is because they exist inside of a monopoly. They are a self-policing, self-regulating institution unto themselves, and they have gone out of their way to keep every other medical practitioner off of the playing field. Oh, those chiropractors, they're quacks. Don't let them be licensed. Don't let them be covered by insurance. Oh, those naturopaths, those homeopaths, those herbalists, those acupuncturists, those Ayurvedic practitioners, for goodness sakes. What are they doing, practicing the oldest system of medicine on planet Earth? You've got to be kidding me. We can't let those guys practice at the hospital. No, 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 no. And this is what's happened. But it kind of happened so slowly that nobody really noticed that it was happening, and now it is a fait accompli. It is reality by consensus. Your medical doctor owns the show. I graduated from a fully accredited pre-med university, the University of Massachusetts. Before that, I matriculated at Williams College, pretty good college. Graduated from the University of Massachusetts with a degree in pre-med. Matriculated at Bastyr University of Naturopathic Medicine, fully accredited by the United States Department of Education. Graduated with a degree in naturopathic medicine, passed national boards, passed state boards, secured a license to practice naturopathic medicine in the great state of Washington, have been practicing naturopathic medicine in clinical settings for over a quarter of a century now. And even though I have done all of this, even though I have done everything that academia required of me, everything that social constraints, social mores required of me, my profession, I am disallowed from practicing medicine in the majority of the United States. You cannot practice naturopathic medicine in 34 states in the United States, which is a crying shame. Does this mean that somehow the laws of medicine, the laws of science, the laws of nature, the laws of physics, the laws of biochemistry, the laws of physiology, the laws of anatomy and change when you cross state lines? You know, if you're a medical doctor, grew up in Massachusetts, went to high school in Massachusetts, and then went to college in California, how were they able to go to college in California? Because they had good grades? No. Because of the United States Department of Education's accreditation procedure. And if they went to undergraduate school, college, university in the state of California, and then went to a medical school in the state of Washington, how is that possible? How would they be able to do that? How can they get a degree from one state and have it apply in another state and allow them entry into an academic institution? What's up with that? If you have a driver's license in Washington state, that doesn't let you get a driver's license in Georgia. You have to pass the test, right? You have to do some stuff. They don't just automatically give you the license. So how can these people automatically gain entrance into different academic institutions all around the United States? Because of the United States Department of Education's accreditation process. It's a rigorous process. All of the academic institutions in the United States that are accredited have to pass muster. They have to secure educational standards. They have to all toe the line. And there's a standard there. And that's how you can do this. Graduate from one academic institution in one state and gain entry into another academic institution in another state. And then when you're a medical doctor, when you graduate medical school, regardless of what state it is, you pass your medical boards, and now you can practice medicine wherever you want. But not with naturopathic medicine. Naturopathic medical schools are fully accredited by the United States Department of Education. So what's good for the goose apparently is not good for the gander. Apparently the United States Department of Education, their rules, their accreditation process is great when it comes to MD education, but it's suspect when it comes to naturopathic education. No, it's not. It's the same thing. There is no reason whatsoever, no academic reason, no intellectual reason, no reason whatsoever that naturopathic medicine should not be allowed to be practiced in all 50 states. The only reason that it is not allowed is because of politics. The lobby of the pharmaceutical industry, the lobby of the American Medical Association, they do not want the competition. I wrote about this in my book, The MD Emperor Has No Clothes. Buy a copy today. The MD Emperor Has No Clothes. Remember the Hans Christian Andersen fable, The Emperor's New Clothes? Shysters came to the kingdom and they told the king that they had magic thread that only the most noble people could see. And the king believed that he could see it because if he didn't see it, he would admit that he was not a noble person. They were shysters. There was no thread. They were pulling a fast one on the king, and they made the king a brand new suit of clothes, royal robes made out of this magic thread that only the most noble people could see. And the king is walking down the road in his procession to show off his new clothes, which, of course, he doesn't have any. He's butt naked. And everybody in the crowd is saying, "Oh, what fabulous clothes, what most remarkable clothes. I've never seen clothes so marvelous," because nobody wanted to admit that they also were not noble. Because if you're not noble, you can't see the thread. And then there's a little child, right? The wisdom of the children peeks out from beneath his mother's skirt and says, "Mommy, that man's naked." And then it rushes through the crowd. Reality rushes through the crowd. Cognitive dissonance disappears. And all of a sudden, the king's nakedness is exposed. That is exactly the way that it is right now. And that's why I titled my book, The MD Emperor Has No Clothes. The medical doctor who is the king of the hill delivers therapeutics which do not work. They don't work. They don't work. This is why our health is going to hell in a handbasket. It's because the people that monopolize the medical marketplace deliver medical therapeutics that don't work. And they don't let anybody else play. They don't let anybody else into the game. They have kept everybody else out because somebody somewhere in power knows that if by some genie in the bottle magic, and this is what I wrote about in my book, if by some genie in the bottle magic we all woke up tomorrow when there was an equal playing field, equal, free market medicine, just as many chiropractors, just as many naturopaths, just as many homeopaths, just as many acupuncturists, just as many Ayurvedic practitioners, just as many MDs. Everybody was the same. Just as many hospitals for everybody. Hospitals allowed any medical practitioner to practice there who wanted to, and insurance paid for all of it. And research money was divvied up equally amongst all the medical professions. Within 5 years, max, the medical doctors would be out of a job, because in a free medical market, people go to what works. If we had a free medical market, if your insurance paid for naturopathic medicine, if your insurance paid for homeopathic medicine, if your insurance paid for herbal medicine, if your insurance paid for chiropractic medicine 100%, within 5 years max, the MDs would be out of a job, because holistic medicine works and reductionistic MD-directed allopathic pharmaceutical centrist medicine does not work. Not for chronic disease. If you're in a MASH tent, that's a good thing, right? That's what they're good at. Surgery when it's necessary, trauma care. That's the wheelhouse of the MD. And when I'm Surgeon General of the United States, it's going to be illegal for a medical doctor to do anything but surgery, period. And trauma care. Because everything else they suck at. And they're killing us. But because it's a medical monopoly and because it snuck up on us over 100 years, we just think it's normal. It's like slavery, right? Oh, those blacks, they're not really people. They're just animals. That's why we treat them like animals. Don't you know that? Didn't you know they're animals? Yeah, well, I don't think so. This is what happens, ladies and gentlemen, inside of an unfree, monopolistic marketplace. There is a solution. Fire your medical doctor now and tune in and turn on to the wonders of holistic medicine. We're going to Virginia when we come back. Stick around. Dr. Peter Glidden here. Thanks so much for clicking on the link. I appreciate your trust and your curiosity. Last year in the United States, we spent over $30 billion on nutritional supplements, and everybody's still sick. When it comes to nutritional supplements, the recipe is everything. All wine is made from grapes. There's a great deal of difference from bottle to bottle, depending on too many variables to count. It's the same with nutritional supplements. If you need to spend hard-earned money on nutritional supplements, which you do because medical insurance doesn't pay for it, did you ever wonder why? Well, that's the subject for an entirely different conversation. But in point of fact, our position is, in order for the body to work the way that God and nature intended it, there are 90 essential nutrients that need to be imported into it on a daily basis. These 90 essential nutrients are not all present in the food supply. You must supplement. It's mandatory. You must give your body the raw materials it needs every day to optimize its structure and function. You must give your body a fighting chance. So you need nutritional supplements. Well, which nutritional supplements should you take? That's the million-dollar question. I've been doing naturopathic medicine, practicing naturopathic medical therapeutics in clinical settings for over a quarter of a century now. And as God is my witness, I am here to tell you that the nutritional supplements which produce the most consistent, effective results are those developed and delivered by Youngevity. If you have finally snapped out of it and seen the light, if you are finally convinced that medical nutrition is what your body has been missing your entire life, and if you're ready to take a walk through the undiscovered country of science-based, clinically verified medical nutrition, then you need to try Youngevity's nutritional supplements, because they produce the most consistent results of anything I've ever seen. And I've seen a lot in over a quarter of a century of primary care naturopathic medicine. Fill out the form on this page, ladies and gentlemen. Click the submit button, and a Youngevity representative whom I know and trust will be in touch with you to show you what to do to support and promote your body's ability to optimize its structure and function. Thanks for your time. Thanks for your trust. I am your steadfast advocate for health, Dr. Peter Glidden. Live long and prosper. I'll see you around campus. I'm not The leading cause of death in the United States, MD-directed medical therapeutics. The leading cause of bankruptcy, MD-directed medical therapeutics. While the MDs have been in charge of healthcare, which is not under their tutelage healthcare, it's disease management. While we have given the MDs complete, utter, and total control over the medical marketplace, all chronic diseases have gotten worse. All chronic diseases have gotten worse. Life expectancy has gotten shorter. Infertility has run rampant. Autism, crazy. Type 2 diabetes getting worse, not better. Arthritis getting worse, not better. And do the MDs take any responsibility for it? No. What do? They blame you. Can't be the MD's fault. You have the bad gene. That's what it is. It's genetic. Yes, it's genetic. Even though, about a year and a half ago now, one of the guys that discovered the structure of DNA, the double helix, James Watson and Crick. Was it Watson or was it Crick that was quoted? I think it was Watson. Went to a big conference of geneticists in the world, right? They're trying to figure out why they haven't gotten any traction. All the major geneticists in the world of medicine were there, and Watson was there, the guy that discovered the fundamental structure of DNA, the guy that kicked the ball off in the whole field of genetics. And he gets up in front of his colleagues and says, you can sequence all of the genes in every human being from now until eternity, and you will not get any closer to coming up with a cure for any health condition, because it is not genetic, it is epigenetic, it is biochemistry. Biochemistry affects the way that the genes manifest themselves. And then what happens? The next day in the newspaper, they dig up something that he did years ago when he was a professor, and they called him a racist. Right? So this is what happens. You can't argue against the Fuhrer, can you? Can't argue against the Fuhrer. Can't argue against the status quo. Can't rock the boat. Billions of dollars at stake. Billions of dollars at play here. We are on the cutting edge, ladies and gentlemen. This is as good as it gets in the 21st century. This is the cutting edge of medicine. This is it, right here, right now. 100 years from now, what we're talking about today is going to be commonplace, going to be everywhere all the time. This is the beginning of the New Deal. Look, you don't need to know a damn thing about biochemistry, about genetics, about anatomy and physiology. You don't even need to know how to do rudimentary, elementary math. All you need is common sense. How are you doing while you have been under the care of the medical doctor? How is that going for you? How's it going for your family? How's it going for your kids? How's it going for your parents? How's it going? Is everybody happy and healthy? Are everybody good? No. Everybody's sick all of the time. You just need common sense. Pick yourselves up. Take your head out of the sand. Look around. Slavery is bad, right? There were only a couple people standing up in the antebellum South that said slavery is bad. Now everybody agrees slavery is bad. MD-directed medicine is bad. It doesn't work. You should abandon it unless you have a bullet in your arm. Heaven forbid. This is the New Deal. This is it, right here, right now. This is the beginning of real health care. And one of the greatest ironies is that there are very few of my colleagues, naturopathic doctors, that even get this. That's another story for another time. But all you need to be concerned about is how do you feel and what works. So you've got high blood pressure, you can't sleep through the night, you've got arthritis, you've got high blood pressure, you've got something going on, and you do it the MD's way for 5 years, 10 years, and it doesn't get any better. You're getting worse and worse and worse. Don't you think it's time to try something else? Time for a change? Well, the only reason that my profession exists in a hostile political climate is because the majority of the time, the therapeutics that we recommend work. So take a walk on the wise side. Take a walk on the wise side. And give good, new-fashioned science-based, clinically verified medical nutrition a run for its money and see for yourself how you feel. I really am going to Virginia when we come back. Stick around.
If you are sick and tired of feeling sick and tired, if you are finally finished with expensive and ineffective MD treatments, and if you are frustrated with not knowing which nutritional supplements to take, you have come to exactly the right place. We are here to help. Log into eiffelhealth.com, click the contact button, and someone who has been working with Dr. Glidden will contact you and show you exactly what to do to recover your health. Go to eiffelhealth.com, that's eiffelhealth.com, and click the contact button now.
Jethro Tull, ladies and gentlemen. You gotta love Jethro Tull. Let's go to Terry in Virginia and see what's up. Hey, Terry, welcome back. You are live.
Hey, Dr. Glidden.
Hey, Terry.
I need to get my nephew Mark to listen to that song you was just singing. They're fixing to open him back up again to see if he's got any more cancer in his lungs and anywhere else.
Oh, man.
And
I don't know. I don't know why they're going to do that, because what are they going to do when they find it? I mean, what's their solution? They don't have a solution, right? They're only doing it so they can line him up for chemotherapy and radiation, which is going to make them money, but is not going to do him any good because it doesn't work.
Well,
and it's not just me that's saying this. There was a big study published 9 years ago in the American Journal of Clinical Oncology, the American Journal of Clinical Oncology. They looked at data from 14 years, people all around the world, adults who had developed cancer, 14 years of data. And they made the conclusion, this is called a meta-analysis, they made the conclusion after looking at all this data, and they published this in the Journal of Clinical Oncology, that 97% of the time, chemotherapy for adult onset cancer doesn't work. Published it. This was 9 years ago. So why are they still rolling out chemotherapy? Why are they cutting people open to see how far the cancer has spread? Because they want to give them more chemotherapy. Why do they want to give them chemotherapy? Because they make a bundle on chemotherapy. They do. They make a bundle. And, there ought to be a law. If anybody else did this, I mean, if a naturopath did this or a chiropractor did this, enrolled somebody in an extremely poisonous, caustic, bad therapeutic that was exorbitantly expensive, which caused harm and didn't work, we'd be pilloried in the town square. But when the MDs do it, everybody organizes a 5K run, right, to give the MDs more money so they can deliver more chemotherapy. We all need our flippin' heads examined, for goodness sake. I think you had a longevity product question. Is that right, Terry?
Yeah, and I want to add that one of my friends at the bank, she's starting to listen, and one of my sisters is finally starting to listen, so I hope they'll do much better in the future. But, I've got a question about the glucose gel, the Ultimate Dailies, and de-stress.
Okay, shoot.
Okay, I've been on the glucose gel for 2 years, and I've been on a high dose because I was experimenting with it. And 150 pounds, and I'm taking 15 a day, and I'm wondering if I should experiment with cutting back on that.
Well, what happened to your arthritic stuff?
Well, I don't have, as long as I'm on it, I don't have it. But I noticed when I ran out, I think it was 2 months ago, I completely ran out of it, and my right knee swelled up so bad I had to walk to the Greenway with a cane.
Really?
And back, yeah. It was really swelled up really bad.
So before the longevity, right, before you started on this road with us, on a scale of 1 to 10, how bad was your arthritis?
8.
It was an 8. And which joints were affected?
Both knees and my left hand and my left elbow.
Okay, so you had an 8 out of a 10 arthritis in your knees, your hands, and one of your elbows. And when you were taking longevity, where did the pain level go? Where did the arthritis go? Was it an 8 out of a 10? After a couple months on longevity, where did it go?
Before I went on the products, I couldn't sleep on either of my sides. And I can't sleep if I'm not sleeping on my side because of the pain in my hips.
Yeah.
when I went on the product, it was like I did not have arthritis anymore.
So it went from an 8 out of a 10 to a 0 out of 10?
Yeah, like within about 3 weeks' time.
Okay, good.
And my energy level was so high from taking the other products that I was walking all over town. I didn't even want to drive. I parked my Jeep, which I was having some problems with anyway. Just started walking everywhere.
Do you know what your blood type is, Terry?
Yeah, I'm a blood type A.
Blood type A. Okay, good. So, great. So you had big bad arthritis, couldn't sleep at night, no energy, life was in the crapper, getting worse and worse and worse while you were listening to the MDs. You finally get a clue, take longevity, and in 3 weeks, you're remarkably better, and life is good, right? And so now you're rolling down the road, you're doing everything like a good girl, and you figure, well, I'm going to cut back on the therapeutic dose because maybe I don't need a therapeutic dose anymore. Maybe I can do a maintenance dose. And that's a good question. Now, regretfully, right, because we don't live on the Starship Enterprise, there's no amount of lab work that anybody can do at this moment in time that's able to tell you or anybody else what they can do with their supplementation and how much exactly that you need every day. It's all kind of in-house experimentation, right? So if you're taking 15 a day right now, for 4 weeks, I would cut it back to 9 a day. I cut it back to 9 a day. Go from 15 to 9. That's 3, 3, and 3. And see how you do. Now, if when you cut it down to 9, your joint pain starts to resurface, then I would go to 12, right? Go up by 3 every time. So I would tone it down to 9 a day, and then if the arthritic stuff starts to resurface, I would punch it up to 12 a day, and then if that doesn't work, you got to go back to 15 a day. And like every 6 months, more or less, I would mess around with the dose like that. Because you're absolutely correct. There is 2 phases to this medical nutrition stuff. The first phase is a therapeutic intervention where we give a lot of stuff and then we dial it back to maintenance. So, that's what I would do with the glucogel, 9 a day, and see how you do. Make sense?
Yeah.
Okay, good.
I'm really excited about something else major that's happened.
All right.
I didn't get a blood sugar test kit until recently. I got one about a month and a half ago. And I said, now, I've been on these sweeties off and on, so I'm going to stay on them, and I'm going to check it every morning to see what it is. Well, it went from 127 to 101 to 99, and now it's between 80 and 90 every morning. Unless I eat something at night that's got sugar in it.
Boy, you got to love that. That's a big deal because blood sugar is one of those things that it's like a thief in the night, or it's like, it's like the blackberry bushes in Washington State. They just creep and they creep and they creep and they creep and they creep, and before you know it, the whole backyard is one giant blackberry bush, man. If there's ever like nuclear war, and all the humans die, in 2 years, Seattle is going to be one giant blackberry bush. I mean, they are everywhere all the time, and they creep and they creep and they creep. And that's what happens with blood sugar. It creeps up on you, it creeps up on you, it creeps up on you, it creeps up on you. Your quality of your life starts to go into the crapper. Your energy starts to get all funky. Your mood starts to get all funky. You get depressed. You get heavy. You get, it's like, life is good, but you feel like crap. And it's snuck up on you so slowly that you just think it's kind of normal. And so the best way to understand what's happening with blood sugar is with laboratory measurement. And so getting a handle on this, Terry, it's a really big thing. It's a really big thing because when your blood sugar starts to get funky, it affects virtually everything in your life. And ironically, it's one of the easiest things in the world to fix with medical nutrition. So you are way ahead of the game, Terry, way ahead of the game, I can't tell you.
Okay, well, yeah, I had the syndrome X. I was diagnosed with it in 2007. And, then I started out taking 4 sweeties. For about 3 or 4 days there, I took 2 in the morning and 2 at bed, like I heard you talk about. And so I was testing it. It just dropped drastically, so I cut back to 2 before bed, and that's what I've been on for about a month or so now.
Well, numbers don't lie. So
it's been constant.
Right. So, yeah, so that's the best way to do it. I mean, you were smart enough to get the blood sugar monitor. If your levels are between 80 and 90 in the morning, 2 before bed is absolutely perfect for you. I mean, that's a really, really big thing. I mean, that's a really big thing.
Yeah, well, I want to ask you about these here Ultimate Dailies. We was discussing this about a year ago before all hell broke loose, and I forgot what was going on. But anyway, I've been on 2 in the morning, late morning, and then I take 2 late evening, like around 4 or 5.
Yep.
And I'm wondering if that's enough.
Well, you doing this for prevention, or did somebody tell you that you actually have a problem with clogged arteries?
No, I haven't. I haven't had one of those tests. Will they test for that?
Well, then this is one of those things. It's like, I don't know. Nobody's gonna know, right? It's a really good product to take, and it's really, really good to help you have healthy circulation. It's really good to help have healthy circulation, but I can't tell you how many you should take, how many you can't take. The only way that we can track that is if you get a Doppler ultrasound, and they're able to check how clogged your arteries are or not. But there's how many? Were there 180 or 240 in that bottle? There's 180 caps in that bottle. So
let me reach down here and see. There's 240.
240 in your Ultimate Dailies. All right, so you have.
No, I was looking at the glucose gel. I'm sorry.
Yeah, there's 180 in the old Ultimate Daily, which is they stopped making the old Ultimate Dailies, and they're gonna start making it again. They made it in smaller capsules, right? Do you know what I'm talking about?
Yeah.
Do you have the old bigger capsules or the new smaller caps?
The old bigger capsules.
Okay, so what I would recommend for you to do is at this stage of the game is I would do one of those 3 times a day, and one bottle will last you 2 months. Do 1 cap with breakfast, 1 with lunch, 1 with dinner.
Oh, the 180 count?
Yep. The Ultimate Dailies. Now they're bringing that product back. Longevity's bringing the original formula Ultimate Dailies back sometime this month, so stay tuned.
Okay, well, I also was guessing that I needed some de-stress tablets or capsules, so I started taking them for anxiety because, I'm just really nervous a lot, and I have a lot of tension in my shoulders and my neck before I go to bed and toward the evenings.
How much liquid calcium are you taking a day?
Well, that's another thing. I've been switching from the Cal Toddy to the Beyond Osteo FX because I'm confused about it. I started taking 3 tablespoons at night before bed, or maybe it's 2, and 2 during the day with the other products.
Okay, so here's what I would recommend that you do instead of the de-stress for 21 days to see if it makes a difference with your anxiety. I would stick with the Beyond Osteo FX, not the Cal Toddy. I would stick with the Beyond Osteo FX. And I would do 1 ounce with breakfast, 1 ounce with lunch, and 2 ounces before bed. So that's 2 tablespoons with breakfast, 2 tablespoons with lunch, and 4 tablespoons before bed. Do that for 21 days and see whether or not you notice a difference. We're up against the hard break, Terry. I appreciate everything that you do. I love spending time with you, talking to you. You are a testament for the effectiveness of science-based, clinically verified medical nutrition. Maggie in New Jersey is up when we come back, folks.
If you are sick and tired of feeling sick and tired, if you are finally finished with expensive and ineffective MD treatments, and if you are frustrated with not knowing which nutritional supplements to take, you have come to exactly the right place. We are here to help. Log into eiffelhealth.com, click the contact button, and someone who has been working with Dr. Glidden will contact you and show you exactly what to do to recover your health. Go to eiffelhealth.com. That's eiffelhealth.com and click the contact button now.
Street and suck up and go, cool that swallow.
Ladies and gentlemen, Dr. Peter Glidden, your steadfast advocate for health. Check the website out, drglidden.com, drglidden.com, or www.glidden.healthcare, glidden.healthcare. That's a better one. It's the same website, actually, glidden.healthcare. One-stop shopping for all your educational needs about how you can help your body optimize its structure and function and attempt a cure. Let's go to Maggie in New Jersey. Hey, Maggie, thanks for waiting. You are live.
Oh, my pleasure, Dr. Glidden. Can you hear me?
Yes, ma'am. Coming in loud and clear.
Oh, great. Okay. And I'm exit 82 off the Parkway. Okay. So my daughter has a little lump on her right breast. She's been breastfeeding for the most part of the last, year and a half. She had 3 children in 6 years and has breastfed all of them. So anyway, she's got this lactating adenoma, I guess it's called.
Yeah.
And she's not sure. She hasn't had a biopsy done. She's very anti-medical doctor.
Yeah.
And so she's not in any hurry to run there. But so I told her, I was going to call you and see. I was going to order Z-Radical, but I thought, well, if it's not cancerous, and there'll be other things you'll have to say about it. So that's what we have right now.
Okay, so the problem here, I believe, is not that she's breastfeeding. The problem is that she's had 3 kids and she's undernutrified, right? And from our point of view, everybody is nutritionally deficient. Everybody in the world is nutritionally deficient because you can't get minerals from food. You can't get all the minerals that your body needs. You can get some of the vitamins, some of the essential fatty acids, but you can't get the majority of the minerals that you need from food. You must supplement. So if your body is nutritionally deficient and then you have a child, you're more nutritionally deficient, and then another child, and then another child. And quite frankly, she was lucky that this last kid was born, without a birth defect, because we believe that all birth defects are caused by nutrient deficiencies in the blood of the mother, and it's the obstetrician's fault. It's the doctor's fault for not telling them this. So in any event, I would not do anything extracurricular here than give her the 90 essential nutrients, counsel her to stop eating the 12 bad foods, and give her extra selenium, right? I would give her 9 selenium a day for 4 weeks. 3 with breakfast, 3 with lunch, 3 with dinner for 4 weeks, and then you can cut it back to 6 selenium a day, 2, 2, and 2. This on top of the Healthy Body Start Pack 2.0 liquid, so I would give her 1. How much does she weigh, Maggie?
She's, I'm going to say probably about 160, but she's 6 feet tall.
Okay. So here's what I would give her every month for the next 3 months, all right? I would give her 1 Healthy Body Start Pack 2.0 liquid.
Okay.
I would give her 1 Healthy Body Start Pack 2.0 with the Beyond Tangy Tangerine tablets.
Okay.
I'd give her 2 bottles of plant minerals and 3 bottles of selenium, plus eliminate the 12 bad foods. And I'm going to bet you 25 cents that within 7 days of doing this, her energy is going to come back. Everything's going to brighten up, because I'm telling you, she's depleted from the pregnancies, but she's gotten used to being depleted. And now her body is starting to develop symptoms, right, because of chronic nutrient deficiencies. You don't get a lactating adenoma because you're lactating, because if that were the case, every woman that was breastfeeding would get one, right? It's happening because there's a facultative breakdown in her metabolism, and the first thing to think about is lack of nutrients. So give that program a run. Even after 4 weeks, there should be a noticeable difference. Give me a call back and let me know how it goes. I will look forward to it. Where does the time go, ladies and gentlemen? If you want more of me, you want more of the chat, more of this information, go to glidden.healthcare, glidden.healthcare, become a Dr. Glidden advocate, and join the community of the informed. And let's lift each other up all together. I'll see you next time. Until then, live long. prosper.